صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Chapter on the description of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Narrated Uqba bin al-Harith. Once Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, offered the Asr prayers and then went out walking and saw Al-Hasan playing with the boys. He lifted him on his shoulders and said, "Let my parents be sacrificed for your sake. You resemble the Prophet, peace be upon him, and not Ali," while Ali was smiling. Narrated Abu Juhaifa, may Allah be pleased with him, I saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, and Al-Hasan resembled him. Narrated Ismã'il bin Abi Khalid, I heard Abu Juhaifa, may Allah be pleased with him, saying, I saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, and Al-Hasan bin Ali resembled him. I said to Abu Juhaifa, "Describe him for me." He said he was white and his beard was black with some white hair. He promised to give us 13 young she-camels, but he expired before we could get them. Narrated Wahb Abu Juhaifa as-Sawa'i, I saw the Prophet, peace be upon him, and saw some white hair below his lower lip above the chin. Narrated Hariz bin Uthman that he asked Abdullah bin Busr, that is, the companion of the Prophet, "Did you see the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he was old?" He said he had a few white hair between the lower lip and chin. Narrated Rabi'a bin Abi Abdurrahman, I heard Anas bin Malik describing the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, he was of medium height amongst the people, neither tall nor short. He had a rosy complexion, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither completely curly nor quite lank. Divine revelation was revealed to him when he was 40 years old. He stayed 10 years in Mecca receiving the divine revelation and stayed in Al-Madinah for 10 more years. While he expired, he had scarcely 20 white hair in his head and beard. Rabi'a said, I saw some of his hair and it was red. When I asked about that, I was told that it turned red because of perfume. See Volume 5, Hadith number 3851. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was neither very tall nor short, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. His hair was neither curly nor lank. Allah sent him as a messenger when he was 40 years old. Afterwards, he resided in Mecca for 10 years and in Al-Madinah for 10 more years. When Allah took him unto him, there were scarcely 20 white hair in his head and beard. See Volume 5, Hadith number 3851. Narrated Al-Bara, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was the most handsome of all the people and had the best appearance. He was neither very tall nor short. Narrated Qatada, I asked Anas, did the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to dye his hair? He said no, for there were only a few white hair on his temples. Narrated Al-Bara, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was of moderate height, having broad shoulders, long hair reaching his earlobes. Once I saw him in a red cloak, and I had never seen a more handsome person than him. Narrated Abu Ishaq, Al-Bara was asked, was the face of the Prophet, peace be upon him, as bright as a sword? He said, no, but as bright as a moon. Narrated Abu Juhaifa, may Allah be pleased with him, once Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, went to Al-Batha at noon, performed the ablution and offered 2 rak'ah of Zuhr prayer and 2 rak'ah of Asr prayer while a spear-headed stick was planted in front of him as a sutra, and the passerbys were passing behind that sutra. After the salah, prayer, the people got up and held the hands of the Prophet and passed them on their faces. I also took his hand and kept it on my face and noticed that it was colder than ice and its smell was nicer than musk. Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was the most generous of all the people, and he used to become more generous in Ramadan when Gabriel met him. Jibreel, peace be upon him, used to meet him every night during Ramadan to revise the Qur'an with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, then used to be more generous than the fair wind, sent by Allah with glad tidings, rain in readiness and haste to do charitable deeds. See Volume 1, Hadith number 6. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, that Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, came to her in a happy mood with his features glittering with joy and said, have you not heard what the Qaif has said about Zayd and Osama? He saw their feet and remarked, these belong to each other, that is, their father and son. Footnote: Qaif is one who is expert in recognizing whether somebody is the son of another by examining some of their physical features. Narrated Abdullah bin Ka'b, I heard Ka'b bin Malik talking after his failure to join the Ghazwa of Tabuk. He said, when I greeted Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, his face was glittering with happiness. For whenever Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was happy, his face used to glitter, as if it was a piece of the moon, and we used to recognize it, that is, his happiness from his face. Narrated Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, I have been sent as a messenger in the best century of all the generation of Adam's offspring since their creation. Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, used to let his hair hang down while the infidels used to part their hair. The people of the scriptures were used to letting their hair hang down, and Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, liked to follow the people of the scriptures in the matters about which he was not instructed otherwise. Then Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, parted his hair. Narrated Abdullah bin Amir, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was neither a fahish nor a muttafahish, never used bad language. He used to say, the best amongst you are those who have the best manners and character. See Hadith number 6029, volume 8. Footnote. Fahish, one who speaks bad words. Muttafahish, one who speaks obscene evil words to make the people laugh. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. Whenever Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was given the choice of one of two matters, he would choose the easier of the two, as long as it was not sinful to do so. But if it was sinful to do so, he would not approach it. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, never took revenge over anybody for his own sake, but he did only when Allah's legal laws and bindings were outraged, in which case he would take revenge for Allah's sake. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, I have never touched silk or dibaj, that is, thick silk softer than the palm of the Prophet, peace be upon him, nor have I smelt a perfume nicer than the sweat of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was shyer than a veiled virgin girl. Narrated Shu'bah, a similar hadith as above with this addition, and if he, that is, the Prophet, peace be upon him, disliked something, the sign of aversion would appear on his face. Footnote. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was shyer than a veiled virgin girl. This means that he refrained from doing or saying anything shameful or indecent and disliked to see people doing such things in front of him. Narrated Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, never criticized any food presented to him, but he would eat it if he liked it. Otherwise, he would leave it without expressing his dislike. Narrated Abdullah bin Malik bin Juhaina al-Asdi, when the Prophet, peace be upon him, prostrated, he used to keep his arms so widely apart that we used to see his armpits. The sub-narrator, Ibn Bukhari, said, the whiteness of his armpits. Narrated Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger did not used to raise his hands in his invocations except in the istisqa, that is, invoking Allah for the rain, in which he used to raise his hands so high that one could see the whiteness of his armpits. Note, it may be that Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, did not see the Prophet as raising his hands, but it has been narrated that the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to raise his hands for invocations other than istisqa. See Volume 2, Hadith number 1751, 1752, and Volume 5 and Hadith number 4323. Narrated Abu Juhaifa, may Allah be pleased with him. By chance, I went to the Prophet, peace be upon him, at noon while he was at Al-Abda, resting in a tent. Bilal came out of the tent and pronounced the adhan for the salah, prayer, and entering again, he brought out the water which was left for Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, had performed the ablution. The people rushed to take some of the water. Bilal again went in and brought out a spear-headed stick, and then Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, came out. As if I were now looking at the whiteness of his leg, Bilal fixed the stick to act as a sutra for the salah prayer, and then the Prophet, peace be upon him, offered 2 rakah Zuhr prayer and 2 rakah Asr prayer, while women and donkeys were passing in front of the Prophet, peace be upon him, beyond the stick. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to talk so clearly that if somebody wanted to count the number of his words, he could do so. Narrated Urwa bin Az-Zubair, Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said to me, "Don't you wonder at Abu so-and-so," means Abu Huraira, "who came and sat by my dwelling and started relating something on the authority of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, intending to let me hear that while I was offering an optional salah, prayer? He left before I finished my optional salah, prayer. Had I found him still there, I would have said to him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, never talked so quickly and vaguely as you do."